It's lunchtime, and this is Brad Anderson's Lunch Break. If you work with technology, you've probably been to more than a few conferences in Orlando. When I got invited to speak at Citrix Synergy, I booked a flight and called a few really smart people to meet up for lunch. This week I meet up with Mark Bowker, Senior Analyst and Mobility Expert at ESG.
All right, hop on in.
Right here. You got some gators in the back?
That's why we got this. We wanted to be safe. So, Mark, tell us a little bit about ESG and what you do and what your specialty is.
We are an analyst and consulting firm, like many other firms. But the fascinating part about what I get to do, Brad, is the strategy with these different companies. So I get to meet with folks like yourself, to small little companies that are driving this new innovation and come up with some idea and ultimately starting a new company.
For me, one of my favorite things about the job that I get to do is when I get a chance to meet with customers, meet with partners, because it's just, it's the fun part about it.
It's the people.
You can do that all day long.
Yes. And it is so true that at the end of the day, people do business with people they like, right? You and I have remained friends just for that reason, right?
Yeah. Sort of. Florida is well known for having just crazy stuff that goes on. So I'm going to give you a list of headlines, and you're going to try and guess which ones are made up and which ones are real.
Let's go for it.
Okay. A man is charged with disturbing the peace after climbing on top of a police car to escape vampires. So, all right, second one. A man impersonating a police officer accidentally pulls over two police officers. And the third one, a man burning books in front of his house accidentally burns down 700 acres.
So I'm gonna go, let's start in the middle one, the impersonating a police officer pulling over. I'm gonna say true.
That one is true?
Yeah, nice. I burnt a bunch of books and set the Florida Everglades on fire. I almost want to say I've heard that one before.
That one is true also.
True.
You believe this?
It's crazy.
All right, the first one.
The vampire, you know what? I was going for the first one to be true until the vampire thing. That just seems too out there for me. So I'm going to go false on that one.
Yeah, that one was true as well. You know, in the last, say, 12 months, what's been one of the biggest changes in the conversations that either customers, organizations are wanting to have with you, and where they're looking to get advice and insights in?
The number one increase we see in spending is around cybersecurity. The number one IT priority is about new tools and process to improve cybersecurity. And the number one business priority is cybersecurity.
How many of the organizations ask you about how to balance the end user experience and the deal that users get with security? Because there's a balance there and you can over pivot.
Yeah, no, it's true. So that's constantly what we see, setting the dials, right? Because at one sense, we want to improve productivity and maintain the security at the same time. So we've asked that question with research. 70% of the people said, we'll put security first. And so good for them. Now they're struggling a little bit with how to maintain productivity in that environment. But about a third of the people say that they're putting productivity first. And it's like, hold on a second here, what are you giving up? And honestly, what happens is a lot of their effort, Brad, is actually put into the Windows environment, the traditional Windows environment on their laptop or their desktop, and they aren't putting the effort out on that endpoint device yet because they don't see it as much of a target.
What advice do you give, or what can somebody who's listening to this as they're trying to balance this, what advice can you give them about how to do both?
So I think there's a couple things. One is the most important thing is you have to involve the security team, right? I see so many, whether they're help desk support, kind of typical desktop support, IT directors, and they're coming up with these great ideas, but the security team is an afterthought. So I think to your point earlier about, the perimeters changing, well, so the security really is the same, you just have to apply it to that same environment.
So from an outsider's perspective, what is this partnership, the Microsoft-Citrix partnership, doing to help organizations, increase their bottom line and make their users more productive?
One, I look at the success Microsoft has had with Azure. I look at Office 365 migration. I look at Windows 10. I look at things you're doing around identity with something age-old Active Directory.
Yeah.
And I start putting those together with, okay, at the end of the day, now Citrix comes along and delivering, apps, securely delivering apps, desktops, and data to end user. Now, if you take those two together, really looking at that kind of workspace together with all those, I'll say, consumption models, I mean, that's the magic, right? I mean, you complement each other so well, and I think that you find all the Citrix customers I speak with are happy, and they're also Microsoft customers.
Next time on Brad Anderson's Lunch Break.
If you've ever seen it in person, it's incredible, but there's a lot more laying around than you expected.
I would really hope that that's the alligator farm.
Do you see organizations moving to a solution where they're going to start using their smartphones even more than PCs?
I do. So I've been a believer in this one for a while. So we did some research about this.